Okay, now let's study this open source, the last point in this open source development. Okay, already covered all the 3 points, the design and implementation. We are in the final point, that is open source development. So as the name suggests, that open source development means already the source code is going to be available, platform is going to be available, everything is going to be available. You can able to use that particular source code and you can able to generate the new programs. And when you want to generate the new program, that is your code it is going to be, and always those things are going to be the again open source for the development. Okay, anybody can use that particular source code. Sometimes you can able to restrict that particular thing also, that is also possible. So we'll see that how that when you go and develop the from the open source code that you are developing, whether the licensing is going to be given, whether it is going to be proprietary things that it comes or not, those things will be going to discuss in this open source development. Open source development is a particular platform it is going to be. So usually the source code is going to be available for all the systems, almost all the systems. Volunteers are being invited to develop that particular code, some codes that they want to be able to develop it. They can use this particular source code to develop the new products, new components. Okay. Here the free software foundation that is being given, that is www.fsf.org. Here it says that the advocates are going to be there. For the source code, it is a proprietary thing that it is they are saying, but again it depends upon the available for the users. It should be available for the users to modify that. So whenever if you develop that particular product also, it should be put as a free software foundation, mean free software thing that it should be provided over there. So there only that you should publish, so that again somebody is going to make that modification and they can use that particular product. Okay. Open source are going to be, we can say that through internet only that it is possible to download and upload the applications. So you can use that, any vendors can use that particular product. Example for this is best example is Linux operating system. Anybody can go and even the OS operating system also they can able to change. So functionalities that is being given in that, like that. Okay. Other so open source codes are Java is there, Apache Web Server is there, MySQL is there. Okay. So these things are open sources, and you can able to develop still better manner whatever that it is existing now. Some issues are also going to be there when free it is being given. Issues are also going to be present in that. The product which is being developed for this using the source code, whether it is can you develop the components and all? Yes, it is possible to develop. Once you develop that component, so whether it is an open source component or proprietary component, there is a question mark is there. You can use that particular product as the open source approach for the development, and once you develop that particular thing, then I can able to sell the product. Okay, but selling it is going to be supported with that particular product only. Okay. Then we have to believe that involved in the open source community, so you should able to market that on the cheap rate. Okay, so it should be available at any moment of the time, any community, that software should be available. Like that, you have to make it as a free concept. But there is open source development when you going to do, there is some licensing concept is there. Of course it is free, but it should be used with the proper licensing, means how many people are using my product, that will come to know about that. Even though if it is free, then how many people are using and what developments they will be going to make it, those things are going to be verified in this. Okay, this is why legally we can say that the developer code, that is either company or individual things, so they can have their own code. It is, means even if they are going to use that free codes, still they can own that particular code. Okay, but restriction is that, so it is binded with the legal things, that is licensing is going to be get provided for that. Open source developers, they believe that open source, if it is being developed, that product, it should be free only. So like that, the argument is also going to be there in that. They allow their code to without this restriction, means they will see that the code is going to be used and without restrictions. So you should not put any restrictions on whether to download or upload to the system, and they should get executed. So such type of things also it is going to be there in the open source licensing. If you wanted to sell it, so in the closed source system, that you have to sell that particular component. There are so many licensing models are there. First is GNU general, is GNU means is general public licensing, where it is the open source is going to be there, licensing is also going to be open, and anybody can use this particular source code. Okay, that is GPL. GPL, okay, there is a lesser general public license, LGPL. It is similar to that GPL, is called as a reciprocal licensing. Okay, reciprocal licensing. So it is license going to be written, okay, the components that link to that particular options, okay, open source code that it is. So by clicking the link, so it is getting activated, that GPL is going to get activated. One more license is that Berkeley Standard Distribution, BSD licenses, is a non-reciprocal licenses. Okay, so is obliged to republish any changes, okay, any modification that it is going to be there for the source code, that it should be charged. Okay, you cannot be able to solve that particular product. Finally, the license management, where you can how we are going to use this particular licensing, that it has been discussed in this. To manage a particular system, okay, information system, open source components are going to be downloaded and it should be reused. You can able to download as well as you can reuse it. Whenever that you will be going to download, that it is going to be asked for you some licensing. So if you accept that license, then only the product is getting activated, otherwise it is not. There are different types of licenses are there. You should be aware of all the licenses. Okay, so you should understand how that component is going to be licensed before it is going to be used. For example, whenever you go for net banking concepts, okay, each and every banking products or sites, they would ask you for the license. Okay, that should be, so one of the concept will be there, and if you click on that, then only it is going to be get accepted. Your system is getting registered with the bank, otherwise it is not going to be connecting. Okay, so license is not going to be there, means you cannot able to operate that particular system. Then evolution, aware of the evolution pathways are for the components. Different evolution is nothing but new things. Is going to be the different paths are going to be there for the components, that you should understand properly and you should accept it. Educate the people about the open source. All the open source systems are not going to be safe. That also is there. Security you have to think, and you should understand that thing, and you can accept it. Auditing of the systems in place. So once those things, if it is going to come, you will be going to use it, then auditing of the system is going to be takes place. Okay, and whenever that you will be going to sell that particular products, that time they will be going to ask for the auditing. Then participate in the open source community, means any problems if it is going to be there, those things you can communicate in the open source community is there, and you can able to discuss over there, and you can implement, or you can share your problems. Okay, you can if a good product, if you have been developed from that, you can share it in the source community, open source community, so that everybody can access that particular program of the